In today's program of The Art of Making. What is Stipa? How it is used in making of interior features. How ebooks are created. How Kyrgyz musical instrument komooz is made. Interior features make the house cozy and delight the eye. And if they are made of natural materials, they can have a positive impact on people. Stipa is one of the natural materials which is used widely among Central Asian people. When Stipa ripens, it becomes elongated and beautiful. It is not necessary to buy it. You can pick it yourself. Stipa is a perennial grasses which is also known as steppe reed, and usually it grows on water ponds. Its blooming period is June and July. Its height reaches from 50 to 120 centimeters. Stipa conserves heat in winter and protects against dust and wind in the summer. According to researchers, nomads were aware of the Stipa weaving already in the 15th century. Stipa mats weaving technology had been passed down from generations to generations, and all the conditions of this craft were preserved to our days. Today we will share the secrets of Stipa weaving. Before starting, craftsman usually picks the material. It is necessary to start Stipa, harvesting in the morning while dew is not dried yet, or after the rain when the soil is still soft. After that, Stipa is cleaned from peel and is dried. Some Stipa is thin and others can be thicker. It is necessary to sort it. Thin Stipa is called torfen Stipa. Width and height of the Stipa must be equal. Then flock is pulled around a straight as arrow Stipa scape. There are no restrictions in choosing colors. It all depends on craftsman's taste and imagination. If we stretch the wool properly and mix the colors and add some red color to yellow color, we will get violet color, and it will look beautiful. Craftsman uses bright and multicolored wool. It can be found in this special shop. But there was a time when craftsmen didn't have this opportunity. I saw it myself. Our grandmothers used to fill in the kettle with water, put the wool, paint, and salt inside the kettle. This is how they used to dye the wool, and they used to make a wonderful tekemet. It turned out that in the olden days, soap was used in Stipa weaving to make a product clean and to protect it against worms and insects. Soap was also used as a glue. Today we use white glue. It glues good and it stays for a long time. For Stipa weaving, it's necessary to have only one equipment, which consists of 2 logs and connected with beam. If there is no such kind of logs, it's possible to put a board between 2 tables and hang up on it. In the old days, branching sticks were used. During weaving process, stick was supported with cane and fixed with stones. Some fibers with weight are thrown over the beam. Craftsmen can start to work now. We put Stipa across the fibers and the weights, which are rolled over the fibers. Throw over from one side to another, and this is how scapes are connected. When fibers are connected and rolled between scape, we've got a beautiful picture. It's possible to use a variety of methods. I'm making a modern version and I'm using wooden sticks and wool beads. This craft requires hard work during which bright, eye-catching art objects are born. It gives a person good energy. It's good for your health. They say, if a person has fine motor skills, then his brain works very effectively too. Komooz is a Kyrgyz trichord musical instrument, pear-shaped with a long neck. This instrument is played seated and held horizontally. Pride events, daily life of people, and its traditions are reflected in the folk songs played on komooz. Mirbek Manabayev is a craftsman who has been creating komooz for 30 years. Today, work is humming in the workshop. Jibek is working on another instrument and he kindly agreed to tell us about how the komooz is made. First of all, we dry the wood. This way, wood becomes wavy and unsmooth. Therefore, it's necessary to smooth it with the help of this machine. This is how the work starts. Then we use a special template of komooz shape and outline it with pencil. This will be a front part of the instrument. Before falling into craftsmen's hands, wood goes through drying process. For wood, it takes over 3 years to get rid of the extra moisture. Jibek says that this factor influences the sound of the instrument. The main materials for komooz creation are oak, apricot, and juniper wood. Craftsman says that each instrument demands a personal touch and the size of it depends on the musician's body type. If a musician has big hands, so the komooz must comply to its size. Otherwise, playing this komooz will be uncomfortable. For example, if we make a small komooz for a person with big constitution, it will be out of tune. Musician will be looking for a certain note, but won't find it. This is a standard komooz. Its height is 90 centimeters. Following the draft, craftsman cuts extra wood. A hollow like a bowl is created. Once we have this bowl, it's necessary to clean it and put it into a shape. This is how we cut the wood. If we make it correctly and use a tight technology, we'll get a good instrument. If we rush, this komooz won't serve for long. This is how we give it a shape and make its front side beautiful. And we flatten it. Each of our action will have an impact on the sound of the future komooz. For instance, if a craftsman doesn't put his heart and soul into this work, he won't be able to create a good instrument. The quality of komooz not always depends on the type of wood. It depends on the person who created this komooz. At the moment, craftsman is polishing front parts of komooz, then he starts working with the neck, and later it's necessary to fix the front part of the komooz to the main body frame. One more important thing, instrument is oiled. After that, wood has rich color. Instrument is almost ready. Few things are left. It's necessary to fasten, tuning peg, and tighten the strings.
Hazır biz kıl tağataz komuzga. Jibek jibinen hazır görünce şu.
We are rolling the strings, which have to be made of silk fibers. Strings are rolled over 3 of the tuning pegs from one side, and it is rolled over a piece of leather on the other side.
Yüngü koşup berет da. Конечно, таза jibek jip bolsa.
Every string is tightened as hard as possible. Before it was done manually. Nowadays, there is a special machine which makes the work easier and faster. This komooz is made in the shape of an instrument of toktogul, an old komooz player, and it already can be played. It sounds good. That's it. Komooz is ready. This type of komooz is called toktogul's komooz. It is notable for its sound. There's no echo, only clear sound. This is a real komooz. Each of us gets acquainted with the book in early childhood. Listens to fairy tales, examines colorful pictures, but not many people think about how books are created. Long before the advent of printing machines, people wrote on stone, papyrus, clay, leather, and managed to make books from silk and wood fibers. Having overcome their long journey, the usual paper book has not lost its magic. And even today, in the age of electronic ink, the books continue to satisfy the thirst for wisdom, even in a digital form. If you are friends with the internet, then you are well aware that all information is stored in digital format, including books. Even books and textbooks that are not in print may be available in this format. To create an e-book, you need dozens of professionals who are knowledgeable, experienced, and professional. We are in one of the publishing houses of Almaty, and we will find out how e-books are created.
Сначала формируется авторский коллектив. Авторский коллектив состоит
First of all, writing staff is formed. It consists of scientists,
ученые, географы
for example, geographers, practical teachers, and resource teachers.
и методисты.
Then text part of the book is formed and passed to the printing house.
И передается в издательство.
Everything starts when the author brings its copy. In a few tenths of megabytes of data, there is start a virtual book. Editor is the first who is involved in the process of creation. He makes a primary analysis, and if his decision is positive, book will be published. Further, printers, readers get into the action. They proofread and bring the text to perfection. Correct grammar mistakes, logical inaccuracies bring conceptual and stylistic unity to the text. The third step is desktop publishing. It is a text integration, for instance, fields alignment, page numbering, selecting font size, insert illustrations, and give chromaticity to the pictures. Designer's goal is to make the book as comfortable as possible for the reader. Of course, a multimedia book is a unique format that combines the aesthetics of a traditional paper book. However, the possibilities of the e-book are much wider. Except for text and pictures, it's possible to place audio and video files, photo albums, create internal or external hyperlinks, 3D animation, choose any background, and many other options. After the layout is ready, the designer constructs the future cover. It should reflect the information about the book as much as possible. If a designer has to come up with a layout of a textbook for school children, he structures the textbook by building separate animation fragments, graphic images, tables, charts, or mathematical formulas, and by example, it looks like this.
Электронная версия, она позволяет показать больше информации, нежели печатный вариант.
The electronic version allows you to show more information than the paper version. There are no limitations, by weight, pages, and etc. Here we are trying to convey to children in the form of graphics. Suppose, for example, in computer science for the 9th grade, what constitutes arrays. Here, the lecturer reads the sunset and shows clearly how to build a one-dimensional array.
И показывает наглядно, как можно построить равномерный массив.
Assembled in a single folder ebook, objects are drawn up in layouts, interactive galleries, after which the final version gets for approval by the management of the publisher. Having passed the SPI, the book is ready for publication. Currently, ebooks are built on energy-efficient processors of the ARM architecture. Devices designed for smartphones, tablets, and mobile internet devices are used for this category. Remarkably, hundreds and thousands of books, electronic manuals can be stored on one digital device. As Alexander Blok wrote in his time, a book is a great thing as long as a person knows how to use it. It doesn't matter if you're a connoisseur of traditional paper books that smell of ink or a reader of electronic pages, the main thing is to continue to generate positive emotions and dive into the magic of reading.